What's going on, everybody? Sam Nash Green, Scribe of Spirits here. And I'm doing my Ryan hooks. And if Ryan's here, we're drinking one brand and one brand only. Old Forester.
Yes! It's my favorite.
So, I called Ryan up the other day. I'm like, hey, I have something you're going to want. He's like, what? I'm like, oh, you know, just the new 117 Series 1910 Extra Old. He's like,
Extra old.
how'd you get that? I'm like, I have very nice friends at Old Forester.
And the traditional 1910 is one of my favorites. It is on my bar right now, and as a matter of fact, I brought some with us, so we could try it out first.
I think we should just have a WSET first.
Let's get this video started. The only best way we can with a little dram.
Oh, Old Forester, you know what? I think I can say Old Forester is one of my top favorite bourbon distilleries.
Yeah, so the 1910 is regular aged Old Forester that they age in a heavily charred barrel for an additional 9 months. The 1910 comes from the fire they had of 1910,
Yep.
where they moved bourbon that was ready to be bottled, and they put it back in barrels because there was a fire in the bottling.
Yeah, fire at the bottling line, fire at the plant. So they had to, like, well, what do we do with the bourbon?
Yeah,
So they decided to put back into extra charred barrels.
that's what they had ready.
That's what they had.
Here it is. I'm always a huge fan of this because I always get like that deep chocolate malts. Still traditional brown format, a lot of little banana, that kind of on the back end, which is really common for me with their yeast. Even Jack Daniels and Woodford always still some of that banana, that yeast flavor profile.
And I'm savoring. Ooh.
Yeah, and at first, in my mind, I always thought I liked Double Oak better. But then I was like, no, I'm gonna try them side by side.
I'm on a mailing list from Jay from Whiskey Raiders. He runs the R Bourbon Barrel Pick programs. And they just did an Old Forester Barrel Pick actually this past week one came out. And something he said is that Old Forester's been leaning a lot towards cherry for their single barrels recently. And I'm getting a lot of cherry banana cream pie on this.
Yep, definitely.
And this is really, really good. It's clocking in at what, 93?
93.
And do we know what the 117 is clocking in at?
I did not.
We should look that up.
Let's find out right now. There was only a thing we could find that called the internet.
What's that? Well, Ryan's looking that up. I just
Still
want to give
93. Found it. Sorry. Give a shout out anyway. Sorry, I'll pretend I'm still looking.
I am going to want to give a quick shout out to my friends at Brown Forman. Thank you so much to Chris for making this happen. And also to Mr. Jim Lake for also making this happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much. You're the best around. So this is number 3 on a side note, right, of the series?
Yeah, this is the third of the series. First with the High Angels share, then with Warehouse K, now we have the 1910 Extra Old. So the cool thing about the Extra Old 1910 is that they actually age it for an additional year and a half versus just 9 months.
And it's not overly noticeable, but I think when you look at them side by side, to me there is a noticeable difference in color.
Oh yeah, the 1910 is darker.
This is
not
extra old.
significantly, but
not significantly, but like enough where you can say, oh, that does have a little more to it.
yeah,
than,
absolutely.
Than the first 1910.
Absolutely. Well, cheers. And what's this clocking in at?
93.
93.
Same as the other.
Same as the last. First verse, same as, or second verse, same as the first. That's how that goes, right? Oh man. This takes that banana cream pie note and puts it on steroids. Mmm.
So on the palate, I definitely expected, on the nose, it's a little hot for what I expected for 93, but as soon as it hits your palate, it's not there. Like, it dissipates right away.
I was gonna say, like, are you sure this is 93? It drinks like an 80.
Yeah, it drinks really low. Because I got the heat on the nose.
Yeah.
I could feel it, but then as soon as I hit my palate, I was like, oh, it's gone.
And I feel like a twinge on the back of my tongue, like a subtle burn, but like, it's nothing. Like, ooh.
Now, and think about the cherry element. This is more like a burnt cherry or like a chocolate cherry or...
Chocolate cherry, yeah, I get some of that chocolate note, 100%.
Which obviously you think with heavy charred barrel, you're getting a lot of that vanilla and char sugar that you're getting naturally from the barrel.
Hmm.
Now I gotta go back to the other. Let me cleanse.
That would have been smart. My water glass is inside.
Cleansing is so overrated. Every now and again I like to shock my liver though. Just throw a little water in there. Like, ha ha! Tricked you.
I mean, technically, whiskey's the water of life.
It sure is. I'll tell you though, I think you ruined me for 1910. How am I ever gonna drink this swill again when there's this extra old 1910 laying around?
Yeah, but the problem is that it's not just laying around.
I know. They're only selling it in 375s, distillery only.
And I think it's sold out.
I'm sure it's sold out. Have you ever seen the lines at the Old Forester Distillery
No.
on release days? There people camp out. Like when they do the birthday bourbon is always the same every year. There's people out front, and then 2 days after you see them all in the secondary market. That's it. So I actually have not seen this in the secondary market yet, though. So I'm not sure what the
Yeah.
current
One of reasons of which is that it's just more readily available.
I think when people ask me my favorite bourbons, and I always kept to quantify like how am I drinking it, right? Am I making a cocktail with it? Am I drinking it straight on the rocks? 1910 is always on my very, very short list of things that I recommend to people to go buy. Again, it's readily available. You can find it at the grocery store. Well, at least in California, because we can buy something.
Okay,
at the store.
spoiled.
Yeah, sorry, we're spoiled. I mean, in other places you can find it at most liquor stores, pretty readily available for the most part. And again, the price point's great. It's $60, which is I think
Insane for a solid bourbon.
Insane for a solid bourbon that's this age and this extra aging on a process. It's nice. It's also really nice for new whiskey drinkers, I think, because for me, you get a lot of that sweet chocolate.
Good point.
notes.
It's a great intro bourbon.
Yeah, and it's good for.
I think the whole Old Forester line actually is really great for a new whiskey drinker. Just to taste them through the line. The classic 86, the 100, the rye.
Yep.
Then going to the 18 series, and then there's the 19s.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and they kind of hit all the marks on kind of understanding whiskey history as well, right? We've talked about it before. It's so interesting how light this is, right? Like, it just hits your palate and it sort of like melts away, and then you feel it in the back. And oh, look, I even got a little barrel char in mine.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
Haha! I'm gonna eat that.
You lucky bastard.
Haha!
You got the lucky dram.
That's it. Do you drink any of yours?
No.
You want this piece of mine?
No.
I'll share it with you. You can lick it on my finger.
Gross. This isn't high enough proof to do that, Ryan. Not like the time you spat fire.
Let's be real. In this body and in this body, there is enough alcohol to kill any virus of any kind.
Look, it's a well-known fact that if you treat an outside room with rubbing alcohol, you treat an inside room with drinking alcohol.
That's it. And I always think about when I was a kid playing the Oregon Trail and how some people died of dysentery, and I never did because my guy drank all the time. So I've carried that through life, that I will never get sick and die, unless it's like some random thing. But knock on wood, let's not do that real quick. The alcohol keeps us safe. We'll just call it that. Just keep it safe.
Honestly, my biggest regret is not saving some of the 117 Angel Share and K barrels to taste alongside.
Side by side?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're very drastically different, right?
It would have been really cool to try out what Jackie thought were exceptional and worthy releases.
Which is funny to me because Jackie once told me that her favorite warehouse is Warehouse H. And it's actually personally my favorite as well. Like every time I bought different barrels,
K.
H has always been my favorite. And I always remember because my last name is Hooks, so it starts with H. And she told me at an event we went to that H was her favorite. So I started like looking at them side by side more closely. and H became my favorite very quickly as well, and I understood why. So it's really interesting that they opted for a Warehouse K series versus H, which is what she preferred and favored.
Right, but knowing Jackie, and knowing, respecting her palate was amazing, and respecting her as a woman in the industry, I'm fairly certain that K is like a majority fan favorite.
Yeah.
And that's probably why she did it. Salute.